All right, I've got these parts cleaned up pretty well now. These are the parts to the reed valves right there. They were just a black, sooty, gunky mess, and now I just need to put them together and reinstall them. I'm going to put these reed valves together now and reinstall that. Although here comes the supervisor this morning to make sure that everything is cleaned up and put together right. I'm gonna guess she's also a little bit interested in some lettuce. Hey, come on back over here. Come here. You want some of this? Okay, so here's that head cover, and this is the little reed valve. I've put it back together. Looks a little different now than what it did when I took it off. There's only one way that this thing can actually go on, because there's a little nipple here, and if you tried to put the reed valve on this side, it just wouldn't even cover up the hole. So it can only go on this side. And then the valve itself has a more rounded side right there. And so there's only one way that it'll fit into the head and fit, or the head cover and fit. So it's like that. So the reed valve goes down like that. We'll put this back on, the inlet for the hose. When I put the bolts on, you can see it used to have some, of this blue thread locker. And so I'm going to put the thread locker back on it. Okay, so these gaskets, you shouldn't have any problem with these gaskets leaking, because they fit into these channels, and the gasket fits into those channels. However, where there is this, whoops, it's the wrong way. Where it's crooked here, where the cams are over here on this side, where those little humps are, I'm gonna go ahead and, put some sealant, some gasket maker sealant there on those, because, as long as it's flat and it's fitting into a little groove, I don't worry about it. But that might not necessarily be the case with those round spots. So I'm going to go ahead and put some gasket material on those. And so you can see how I have gasket sealant all around that, and especially here in where right, like in there and in there, where the curve ends up coming to the flat spot again. So here we go, putting this head cover back on. I want to be careful as I put it on that I don't knock the gasket off of it, and that it actually sits down where it's supposed to go. Have this these screws here. Hold on. Come off. Yeah, for this odd one, there is a rubber seal. It has a metal part on it, and the metal part actually goes toward the head of the bolt. The instructions say that these are to be tightened to 10 foot-pounds, torqued down to 10 foot-pounds. So have our torque wrench here. will seat these down. Heard that click that time. That's not good. That feels like that's stripped. See, and that one clicked. Oh no. Back in the early days of Saturday Night Live, there was a Gilda Radner, I think, was the one who was Rosanna Dana, and she says, it just goes to show you it's always something. So you can see there that that one looks different than this one. This is the one that is not stripped. You can see there's no threads on that are there. But this one here, you can see the aluminum has stripped out and has become a part of this. Now what's surprising to me is that 10 foot-pounds is not very much. So obviously, you know, this is one of the problems you have with these older high mileage motorcycles. Somebody has done some maintenance on it before and did not use a torque wrench and used, you know, they just tightened it down and obviously stripped that out. So now I've got two options I'm going to have to explore. One would be to put a helicoil in there. Helicoil is where you drill out the hole and tap it, and it installs a new set of threads into it. The other is to see if I can find a new cam cover there, which would be a whole lot more expensive. So I'm gonna go in and look on the computer and see what I can come up with now. Okay, so I have the camshaft cover off here, and this is the hole that is stripped out, and so it's the one that's going to need to be repaired. Now the way we do this is we drill out this so that this new tap can put new threads in there, but it's not just a matter of putting new threads in there. This is a little bit larger than what that hole is, and then we'll use this tool here to install. These are new threads here, and we'll use this tool to install the new threads, and then that'll put us back at the correct threads and the correct hole size. Now, a little funny story, not so funny story about this. This is an M7 size bolt. So I went to 4 places to try to find an M7 helicoil. All of the places that I went to had an M6 and an M8. And one of the guys I even talked to said, oh, M7, no, you're not going to be able to get that. That's an unusual size. Well, I was able to actually go to a Napa store and they had the M7 helicoil. So we're going to drill that hole out, retap it, insert the helicoil, and then we should be in business. Now, you're supposed to use like a drill press to do this to make sure that you're going exactly straight. Well, I don't have a drill press, so I'm just going to have to eyeball this and hope that I can get it fairly straight. I think that's pretty good. All right, so I blew out the hole there, got it as clean as I possibly could. And now we're gonna tap that with this tap. This puts a set of threads into there. Use a little 3-in-1 oil here to kind of make it better. All right, I feel like I've bottomed out now down there. The hole actually goes all the way through, but it even before I started, I looked and there was like a little lip on the other side, so I didn't want to go all the way because that cam is on the other side of that, and just want to be careful. So you can see there's threads in there now, and I'm gonna put that helicoil in there now. This is another set of both internal and external threads, and it should just screw right in. Now the little tang that's in the bottom, I need to break that off. And so now it's got a whole nice set of threads in there, a brand new set of threads. So I'm gonna blow it out with the air compressor again and reinstall it, and we should be good to go this time. Now let's carefully place this back on here as it should go. All right, I've got my torque wrench set here to 10 foot-pounds. That clicked. That clicked. This was the one we repaired, and that clicked. Okay, so we are in business, as they say. Okay. All right, got some new spark plugs. Put some anti-seize on the spark plugs. Put this in there. Start it with my hands. You know, I took the other spark plugs out. I said that they came out really easily. Could be that that's because the torque specs are only 8 foot-pounds, these spark plugs, which is, you know, 8 foot-pounds is not very much. Got the torque wrench set. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. So we're all buttoned back up, ready to put the radiator back in, and we'll be done. But I think that's about it for me today. I've been running around quite a bit trying to find those helicoils, and I think that's going to do it for today. It's pretty windy today, so Flash has decided she was going to go down into her burrow and supervise from that position today. She says, "I've done a good job today." We'll see you later. See you later.